Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. It is time for me to tackle this tree, so come on, let's do this. The process of making this tree is pretty straightforward. I have to first build a wooden structure that I can then go ahead and attach my burlap to. What I did here was I took a piece of scrap plywood, I sketched out a random shape that looked like if you were looking downwards into the roots of a tree, and then I used my bandsaw to cut that shape. From there, I took some 2x4 and I built a T-structure, not unlike underneath decking or porch area where you would have that Y frame, only I did it in reverse to the bottom of the piece, so that way I would have a good, solid, stable base. I also was careful to alter where I stuck those pieces. I wanted it to look a little more organic, so I didn't go with a perfect square on the bottom. I just placed them in odd places, just so that when I go to drape the fabric over it, it looks a little bit like an organic root system, but it still is structurally sound. For the top, I then took some thinner 2x2 pieces, randomly cut angles, just went on my chop saw, cut random angles, held it up to the piece to see if it looked good, and then popped it in place with a couple drywall screws. This process is often used in stagecraft. It's actually where I got the technique from. But when you're building trees for sets, you're supposed to soak the burlap in glue and then attach it to your structure. That is hella messy and not necessary for what I'll be using this application for. It's not something that's going to be moved back and forth off of a stage, onto a stage, and off of a stage. To make my life simple, I will only be draping the fabric and staple gunning it to my structure. So my form now is ready to go. I am going to begin staple gunning, and this is again a very straightforward method. I am just going to be draping fabric over the limbs, the areas that I have just created, and staple gunning it in place, and then I'm going to do my best to try and hide those staples throughout the piece with the folds of the burlap. Alright y'all, I'm gonna call the video here. I will be doing another video on all the treats that I will be making for this environment. So this one is going to have some sort of apple dangling from it. I've ordered a couple different apple molds, and I also have an apple cookie cutter. I have yet to decide what the apples will be. They definitely will be blue and bronze color scheme. I want to keep with that theme. But whether they are three-dimensional round cake pop type things or whether they are shortbread cookie, I'm not sure yet. I will figure that out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stick around to watch the rest of this environment come together.
What are you doing? What are you doing?